Hi, I'm Andy Bennett with the Oklahoma NRCS. Today I'm going to discuss various parts of the Farm Bill programs. I'm going to start off with a short discussion of the locally led process. What locally led is basically is the method that NRCS uses to determine what the priorities for conservation are in a conservation district type of area. That process should involve public participation, both of the typical stakeholders, farmers, ranchers, but also with local governmental entities and other interested parties such as environmental groups. One of the most important parts of the locally led process is determining the priority resource concerns for a particular area. So when we're determining what we want to spend our limited conservation dollars on in a conservation district, we need the input from the local community to tell us what the most important problems are in that particular area so we can prioritize our work toward what the local work group feels is important. So the work group itself is a physical group of people, and they're the key to the locally led process. It needs to be a diverse group. We need stakeholders from farmers and ranchers to local ag industry to environmental groups, local government agencies, extension, and other interested parties. And we are going to have meetings. We're going to go through a evaluation process to look at the different aspects of conservation that are important to the area, and then we'll use that information we've gathered to determine what our local priorities are. This is very important to us as an agency in making good conservation decisions. ACEP, or the Agricultural Conservation Easement Program, is a different kind of program that we also have in Oklahoma. The most common form of ACEP is the Wetland Reserve Easement, formerly known as the Wetland Reserve Program. Basically what WRE provides producers is the ability to sell the agricultural rights of wetlands or degraded wetlands to the government. The government will then in turn restore those wetlands to their highest value. The landowner retains the rights to the property other than the agricultural rights. So they could use it for hunting, for fishing, for other activities, but they could no longer use it for farming. We also have ag land easements, which are easements that work through partner programs to preserve agricultural lands in areas where there might be suburban development that are starting to take over farmland areas. Both of these programs are true easements. They can be either a 30-year easement on the property or a permanent easement on the property. A significant amount of wetland reserve easements are implemented in Oklahoma every year. One of our most important programs for NRCS is EQIP, which is an acronym for the Environmental Quality Incentives Program. EQIP provides financial and technical assistance to address resource concerns and deliver environmental benefits. So what does that mean? Well, basically it's a voluntary program that helps us address resource concerns, which you could define as problems that we have out on the farm with natural resources. They could be such things as soil erosion, water quality, lack of good water for livestock, and a range of other issues. For example, among the things that we address most often through EQIP are soil erosion, soil health, and soil quality. We could address those through practices such as no-till, cover crops, terraces, and waterways. Another important aspect would be wildlife habitat. It's something we address through EQIP. We could do pollinator plantings. We could do other things to improve wildlife habitat. We also work with inadequate livestock water, where we might help the producer install ponds or water tanks or other ways to provide water to their livestock. It's what we used to call a cost share program, so we pay a percentage of the cost as the government for the producer to install these practices. There are higher payment rates available for beginning farmers, socially disadvantaged farmers, and veteran farmers and ranchers. So the program can address a wide range of resource concerns for a wide range of our agricultural producers. The Conservation Stewardship Program is another one of the big programs for Oklahoma NRCS. Conservation Stewardship Program is a program that's designed to go to a producer who's doing a good job on conservation, who's addressed most of the resource concerns on his farm, and make it possible for him to receive a payment for the good work he's already done, and also to receive additional payments for continuing to improve on the work that he's doing already. This is a pretty important program for us. There are a number of additional activities that a producer can choose to improve their conservation. As with EQIP, there are fund pools for beginning farmers, socially disadvantaged farmers. There's also fund pools for non-industrial private forest land, in addition to traditional ag land operations. CART, or the Conservation Assessment and Ranking Tool, is the way NRCS determines what resource concerns have been addressed or need to be addressed, and that is a critical part in us determining what producers are going to be funded through EQIP and CSP. It's a new tool as of this year that helps our field staff in making that determination. The critical part of it is it automates part of the process. It takes advantage of all the geographic information system data on soils, rainfall, other aspects to determine how vulnerable a particular piece of land would be to things like soil erosion, from water, from wind, loss of organic matter in the soil, and a range of other things. But it is a new change, or a new way to evaluate things compared to what we've done in the past. It is applicable to all programs, so we're going to use this to evaluate all of our programs, and so you'll be asked different questions when you deal with the NRCS than perhaps you did in the past. It's really going to be important to us because it promotes efficiency in doing these evaluations and consistency in the way we are ranking your application. It's been a little bit of a challenge for our employees as we've learned a new tool, but it's going to be very beneficial both to the agency and to you as producers in the future. This was the first year. There are going to be further enhancements as we use this program, but it is something you may have heard people talk about, and you may have seen if you applied for programs this year that was a little bit different than what we've done historically.